Well, it's been a while since someone was brave enough to let me interview them. I kind of have missed that. I think over the course of the summer and the late spring, I did about 150 interviews, and I finally bribed Sylvie, and she needed a favor, and I said, well, I'd be happy to scratch your back if you'll scratch my back.
I think it took more like a lot of cash.
So how are you doing, Sylvie?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Michael. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you. And how about your boys? What are they up to?
My boys are doing fantastic. I have one son at home, my younger son, Grant, and he's finishing up his senior year remotely. And so he's in his second to last semester at the University of New Hampshire.
And what does he study?
And so it's information technology and information systems. Yeah, so he's almost done. So he's winding down this semester, counting down the months until he's fully done. But it's been nice. He's been home. He's actually enjoyed his remote learning. And he's been really focused on working and doing his academics. So he's been doing really great. And Bryce is working full-time in Amesbury, Massachusetts. He got a job about 5 months ago at Hexcel Corporation, which is part of ARC Technologies. And he's working as an engineer tech.
Wow.
And he's also finishing up his senior year at UNH, and he's going to be done in 3 weeks. So
Wow, that's great.
yeah, so they're both doing really fabulous. So.
And how about you? How have you been?
I've been really good. So I've been really busy the last handful of years. I went back to school. I got my associate's degree, and then I just completed my bachelor's degree, and I've got the opportunity to pursue higher education. So I just got accepted to a master's program at Plymouth State University, so I'll be starting that in January.
So it would be reasonable to conclude that since you stopped working at the church, your life has gotten considerably better.
It's definitely more stressful. I don't know that it's been better, actually. I miss you all, and I really enjoyed my time here at the church, and I think life just got really chaotic and crazy, and I had some certain goals that I wanted to achieve, and so I've been focused on that, but I miss my time here at the church. I loved working in the office here.
Well, we loved having you. You were here for almost 2 years.
That's correct, yeah.
And, when I came, Doris McAfee had been the secretary, and then Drew.
Yeah.
And, no longer do we use the old-fashioned word secretary. Now that position is the office administrator or administrative assistant.
Yeah.
And Drew was here almost 10 years and did a fabulous job.
Yes.
And then we were fortunate, you came in and did a wonderful, wonderful job. and now Taryn is in the office, and the tradition just continues.
Yeah.
I thought I don't know if Drew will do this, but I thought it would be a fabulous little get-together to have Doris and Drew and you and Taryn, and we could kind of do a Michael roast. You could reveal to the congregation, all the things that drove you crazy about
That would be
me.
a lot of fun. Yeah, and if we could include Scott in that roast, I think we'd have a really good time. So I think that's a fabulous idea. Yeah, I like that.
So you moved into the village a couple of years ago?
Yes.
And you've done a lot of work on your house.
Yeah, so I've been in the village, I think, for about 5 years now. So I live just down the street from where I currently am. And so I've been in my house, I think, almost 3 years now. And I've been working nonstop on fixing up my 1955 ranch. So I've done a lot of work. I've had a lot of help from my father and my mother, and so it's been a great project, and it's kind of slowly coming together, but it is a lot of work, a lot of time, but I think it's coming out okay. So.
And how do you like living in the village?
I love living in the village. It's probably the best place I've ever resided. There's never a shortage of activities, so I do live alone, except for right now with Grant being home. And it's just nice if there's moments where I just feel like socializing. I have that opportunity to just walk around in the village, and there's always somebody to talk to and connect with. So I love the activity of the school. I love the activity of the kids walking to and from school. So I really love living in the village. Yeah, it's been great.
When you left the church, you got a job. Tell us where you're working.
I'm currently working at OLLI, which is the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, and that's affiliated with Granite State College. They're in Concord, and essentially it's a member-driven, volunteer-based organization that promotes lifelong learning for folks who are 50 and better. So it's a really great organization, very active members, very active staff, and basically we're alongside our peers who just love learning. And so we have wonderful offerings, that cater to basically anyone's interest. We have classes in science and technology, social sciences, history, arts and humanities, and we have these wonderful presenters that come from all over that are very much experts in their field, and these folks come in and they take these courses. There are no tests, no quizzes, no papers, and they just learn. And so it's a really engaging, really wonderful group that participate in this program. So I've really enjoyed it.
And is that, where did you get your associates?
Through Granite State,
Okay.
yeah, through Granite State. So I got my associates as well as my bachelor's through Granite State College,
Okay.
yeah.
And now at Plymouth State, what will your focus be?
So health education and promotion.
And so what would your aspiration be?
I think it's just the pursuit of higher education. I don't necessarily have a concrete plan, but I just think it's so important when the opportunities come about to learn and engage that I can't pass that up. So that's the goal. I don't have this long-term end goal, but I think it's, perhaps job security in the future to have that higher education, that master's degree. But I don't necessarily have a plan specific for it. So it's just, selecting a subject matter that's of sincere interest that's just keeping me going. So,
Good.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
And what did you do for Thanksgiving?
So Thanksgiving was really low-key this year. Bryce and his girlfriend, Riley, they live in Dover, and they were very gracious about not coming home because she's a waitress and she's exposed, potentially all the time to, the COVID, and Bryce works in a very large manufacturing plant, and he, just as a courtesy to his mom, said, we're not going to come home this year. So it was just Grant and myself, and Grant, this is going to be shocking to most, Grant does not like the traditional turkey dinner. He doesn't like the fixings that go along with it, so he suggested that we have a steak dinner. So that's what we did, is we had steak on Thanksgiving. So
I had, Cindy makes this great eggplant parmesan,
yeah.
and that's what I had for
Oh, is
Thanksgiving.
that right?
And how about for Christmas? What do you anticipate?
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Bryce and Riley can come home. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that things get better and that they feel safe coming home and that we feel comfortable having them come. So yeah, I just, keeping my fingers crossed that life gets a little bit more quote unquote normal. So yeah, so I'm just, I don't have any expectations. I'm keeping actually the expectations really low because I don't want to be disappointed. So just gonna play it by ear, take it day by day.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of, we did Thanksgiving just at our house, Cindy and me. And, right now we would love to go to Connecticut for Christmas, but, you want to do the smart thing,
Right.
keep the big picture in mind.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
being responsible and safe is always, good,
Yeah.
especially at our age,
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
Well, I so appreciate you stopping by, and I know you got to get to work. Well, you go home to work. You're working remotely.
I do, yeah. So 4 days a week I'm at home, and then 1 day a week I go into the office in Concord. So it's nice. I'm not a big fan of commuting to Concord. It's a long ride, mostly a long ride home. So I love my morning commute because I like to drink my coffee. But on the way back from Concord, I'm amazed that I'm only in Loudoun. It just seems to take forever to get home. But yeah, so now I'm just going to Concord 1 day a week, and I'm basking in the commute because I don't go anywhere 6 other days of the week, so it's nice. I'm finally appreciating that commute and that time away and change of scenery. So
Work-wise, how has that worked for you?
So it was an adjustment. I think that I do like the social aspects of working at Granite State College, and there's 70 plus people in the building, so it was a great way to stay connected to others and and have a social connection with folks. But at first being at home all day, every day, working out of my laundry room was a little bit challenging. So there was really no separation between work and home, but I've learned to adapt, and I've learned to appreciate the fact that I don't have that commute, and that, you know, that my days feel longer and I can be more productive. So, yeah, it's just, yeah, it was, yeah, definitely a challenge in the beginning, but I'm liking it. I'm
Yep.
liking it, yeah.
Well, you're very resilient and adaptable, and we loved having you here, and we love knowing that you're over in the village. And Cindy and I see a lot of times out working on your yard when we take a walk, and your
Yeah.
presence certainly brightened up the church office and the Guilford Community Church.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. It's, yeah, I do miss the people, and I think this is a wonderful, wonderful congregation. So I hope to get back in the swing of things when life calms down a little bit, and that I can reconnect with folks. So
Great.
thank you very much.
Well, thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, you as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.